For many of the Avs faithful, they are quoting Metallica. The day that never comes, well, that day is today. Alexandar Georgiev has been traded out of Colorado. But for who? But for why? Who's coming in? What does this mean for the Avalanche? We'll take a look at the trade that was and the Penguins game, and we'll hear from you. All on today's episode of Locked On Avalanche.
Your Locked On Avalanche, your daily podcast on the Colorado Avalanche. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to another episode of Locked On Avalanche here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. I'm your host, Kyle Sullivan, a.k.a. Shaggy Von Doom. Your host this week without my partner in crime. He's missing out on all the fun. Chris Maselli, who is still on vacation. I would like to thank you for joining us on today's episode. We have a lot to cover, but before we get to all the action from today and the game tonight, make sure you're following us on our socials. Locked On Avalanche on Twitter X, Locked On Avalanche on Instagram Threads, and Blue Sky. Also, make sure you're following our Subtext. We're going to be relying on the Subtext, the citizens of Subtextia, all throughout the week, getting their comments on post-game and moves like today. So please follow our Subtext. Link to that is in the show notes below. You could talk with Chris and I one-on-one. Where do we start? In the words of Joey Gladstone from Full House, did somebody say Wood? Well, if your last name has Wood in it, then you were born to play goalie for the Colorado Avalanche. Last week, the Avalanche traded Eustace. They got Scott Wedgwood, former Devil goalie. And now the Avalanche have traded Georgie to San Jose for Mackenzie Blackwood, former Devil. Yes, I have his jersey. I know a thing or two about Mackenzie Blackwood. Let's go over the package. What's going in, what's coming out. What does this mean for the Avalanche? It's surprising news. Let's start there. My initial reactions to the trade. I was shocked. Instantly, to see that name in the trade blurb, I was shocked, especially after the performance. Yesterday's episode, we talked about the Avalanche possibly having two good goalies after Wedgwood had a shutout against New Jersey and Georgie had a 29 save outing. I mean, I thought he was turning a corner relatively, but I mean, you could tell the team has kind of lost faith and favor in Georgie. And I think the front office has been trying to put this deal together for a while. And you can kind of see the desperation in this move and try and start over with a clean slate in this package. And let's just go over that real quick. Georgie was traded to San Jose along with Nikolai Kovalenko. That's also interesting, but we're going to come back to that. In return from San Jose, they get Mackenzie Blackwood and Givanni Smith. Now, don't start rushing out the door screaming, "Who is this Giovanni?" No, we'll get to the pieces in a minute, but that's your initial deal. There's some picks going back and forth. There's a 2026 second round pick in there. There's a 2025 fit. There's some draft picks in there to, sweeten the deal both ways, but let's focus on the names that are going to affect the team going forward and possibly tonight's game. That's going to be interesting. Who's going to get? It's probably going to be Wedgwood getting the start tonight, ideally. And we're going to wait a little bit on McKenzie to come in and get settled. Once again, another goalie without Avalanche stuff. So we'll see how that goes. But it's shocking. It's interesting. We all knew this move was coming, but after the Detroit outing, you thought maybe the waters have calmed a little bit and maybe they were turning a corner, but the Avalanche are going to retain 14%, which is like $475,000 of Georgie's contract. Like this deal, like I was joking. Yes, Chris is fully aware of this move, and we've already been talking about it today. And we're going to be getting your input from Subtext in the second segment. We're going to break down what everybody said, and we'll have some comments on that. And we'll look forward to the Penguins game in the last segment. But me and Chris, we were talking about it today. Like, I kind of threw out there jokingly, for once the Avs got fleeced. But this move kind of sounds desperate to get Georgie out of here. Like, putting Kovalenko in this trade package, I thought was the most surprising thing out of all of it. Kovalenko, he's looked good. Granted, he hasn't had a lot of time to shine here. Well, let's pull up the magical stats machine and let's look at this. Like in 2024, 2025, Nikolai Kovalenko has played 28 games, 4 goals, 4 assists, 8 points. I mean, it's not a point per game player yet. He's got great speed, really good puck awareness, but I mean, they're pitching San Jose a future. Like, this is a chip that you take our goalie that's busted and broken, and we'll give you a piece to add to your future that you're trying to build here in San Jose. That's what all of these pieces scream to me. And I can't wait to hear what everybody's reaction is to this trade in the comment section tomorrow on YouTube and on Subtext as a follow-up. It's interesting. It's very interesting. And we'll look at like everybody's stats. We're about to look into Mackenzie Blackwood and what he can mean for the Avalanche, but Kovalenko going out honestly sweetened the deal for San Jose. Like, he's going to be a problem in San Jose in the next couple of years. So I hate to see him go, but it's business. And they needed to make a change at goalie. Wedgwood was giving them, I think, honestly, the shutout from Wedgwood kind of showed them a little like, okay, maybe this isn't the answer. Maybe this Georgie experiment, we're done here. And even the guy we just brought in is having a better game than the guy we've committed some years to. So yeah, Kovalenko's on the way out. Let's take a look at Mackenzie Blackwood. And if you go to NHL.com right now, they already have him with the digital Avalanche jersey. So get used to that. He's going to be wearing 39. That's never gone wrong for an Avalanche goalie. Miss you, Frankie, every single day. I hope you're well. But yeah, he'll be wearing Frankie's jersey. Let's take a look at Mackenzie Blackwood's numbers this season and just kind of in a career in contrast to Georgie. In 2024-2025, Mackenzie Blackwood has played 19 games, 6 wins, 1 shutout. He has a even goals against average of 3 and a .911 save percentage. Ooh, .911. That's above 900. So name a wing of Ball Arena after Mackenzie Blackwood. He's already got an incredible save percentage. In his career, he's played 215 games, 81 wins, 11 shutouts, a goals against average of 3.07, and a save percentage of .905. So, I mean, he's not bad. He's serviceable. Now, everybody knows, like, I saw some comments in YouTube, and yes, I look at all these comments. I see you. I see you all. I saw, what is my interest with the Devils? Well, for the new listeners and viewers of the show, I cheer for the Devils in the Eastern Conference, and that goes way back to like the 2000s. They've always been my team of the East. I call them my mistress team. It's Avalanche number 1, and then the Devils. And Mackenzie Blackwood, his time with the Devils, he had that rough time with COVID, coming back, trying to find his place back in that lineup after he got sick. And he could just never find that place. And in San Jose, he had some great moments already in San Jose this year. And he's been bouncing around a incredible save percentage, and then he has like some sub 900 games. But Mackenzie Blackwood's good. He's going to be good. And I can't wait to see what he looks like with that D pairing in front of him. Let's compare Mackenzie Blackwood to Georgie after the break and look into this a little bit more. And I can't wait to hear what everybody has to say over on Subtext. So let's take a break right here, and we'll dive more into this trade in just a second. Today's episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. That's right. Today's episode is sponsored by Prize Picks. If you love sports, I am one. You're going to love Prize Picks, the best place to turn your sports knowledge into real money. Whether it's hockey, football, or any of your favorite sports, Prize Picks makes it easy to get in on the action. Here's why you need to get started. You can win up to 200 times your money. That's 200 times your money on Prize Picks when you get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. No need to win. The $50 is guaranteed. Prize Picks also offers fun weekly promotions like, look around you. Today is Taco Tuesday, where you select player projections and they're discounted up to 25%. This week on Prize Picks, there's some appetizing deals out there, especially on Taco Tuesday. So download Prize Picks. Let me know what you pick. Download the app today. Use code LOCKEDONNHL to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's right, $50 instantly. Prize Picks. Run your game. Ooh, the mute button. Thank you, everybody, for joining us again. We just looked in the first segment on the overall summary of the deal, my initial reactions, and what Mackenzie Blackwood looks like. Let's compare him with, you pull up Georgie now on NHL.com, and it's that weird teal, that Taco Bell of the 90s teal for San Jose. And so far this year, 18 games played, 8 wins, no shutouts, 3.38 goals against, save percentage of .874. Just for reference, again, Mackenzie Blackwood, 19 games played. Georgie, he has 18. Mackenzie Blackwood, 6 wins. Georgie, 8 wins. Mackenzie Blackwood, 1 shutout. Georgie, 0. Goals against average for Mackenzie, even 3. Goals against, 3.38 for Georgie. Mackenzie Blackwood, save percentage, .911. Save percentage for Georgie, .874. So it's a little bit of an upgrade when it comes to the numbers so far this year. And keep in mind, those are Mackenzie Blackwood numbers in San Jose. That's Georgie with Gerard, Makar, DeHaan, like Malinsky, superior defense in front of him. So this might be a little bit of an upgrade. You're losing the Kovalenko aspect. That's going to hurt, but this might be an upgrade. And I'm looking forward to what this could mean for the Avalanche. This is because me and Chris say it all the time. This team just needs average goaltending, and they can do wonders. And I say it all the time. This team has won a Stanley Cup with Darcy Kemper. They could do things with decent goaltending, and I could speak now on this. I didn't see so much of the inconsistencies in Juice as was laid out in the trade. Yes, he had a stretch of bad games, but I think it has to do with the usage and not so much his play. He played a calmer game, but when Wedgwood came in here, I saw what delightfully average could be, and then I could see, yeah, maybe Juice was a little bit more inconsistent than what Wedgwood is bringing you. And when you're doing the comparison between Georgie and Mackenzie Blackwood, I think you're going to see those same differences, and you're going to be like, okay, I think we're going to be fine and ride this out. So this is going to be a positive. Let's jump over to our wonderful citizens of Subtextia and get some initial reactions. I'm going to read as many as I can. Dan, well, holy, fill in your favorite word here. That close to my reaction when this came out. Katie, honestly, nothing but happy right now. I'm going to read this. It's a shame we had to let Covey go. Solid set of top 6 guys in the bottom. And we have some other rookies that look good too. So if this is what it takes to get rid of Georgiev, then bye. Bye, Covey. I mean, I think this is what the price was going to be to get him out the door. So it's understandable. Mark just says what with a lot of spelling. I understand you, Mark. As fan forever. God would. That's I've already seen on socials the nicknames for what this could be. The goalie tandem of Wedgwood and Blackwood. And hey, both former Devils, along with the other former Devil, Miles Wood. There's just the Devil's old burnt wood, I guess. I don't know. Heather says I'm speechless. I can't be as a podcaster. I have to have speech. So I need speech more. K. I'm not too surprised that they were looking for a replacement for Georgie, but I'm bummed about Kovalenko. I think that's the general sentiment from everybody right now. He was the first prospect that we've had in years that looked like he was going to develop into something good. Yep, we have been there, done that. We finally get a good prospect, and it's part of a package. Rinse, wash, repeat. Let's go up to Brandon. What shall we call the goalie duo? The wood shop or the woodshed? There's I can't wait. In your comments, whatever you drop, give me your best goalie tandem nickname. Throw in Miles Wood in there if you want. Excuse me. We have Cody saying, kind of going to miss the Kovalenko, though. He showed promise. Yes, he did. At times. At times he did. And then there's times that he's also getting invisible. So finding that balance, he might find it in San Jose. He might find it elsewhere. But I do hate to see him go. Coy. But I think it's an upgrade net with a younger goaltender. I'm assuming that's the main point. You know, I don't think we even covered age. Mackenzie Blackwood is 28. And Georgie is 28. So let's see. Georgie was born February 10th. And McKenzie was December 9th. So not too much younger, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see if Blackwood could do. Oh, this is a good long one. We'll see if Blackwood could do what he failed to do with the Devils. Be a solid number 1 when it means something. There's zero pressure to succeed in San Jose, so this will be a change. That's also a valid point. Georgie can really, and I told Chris this, I was like, I have a sneaky suspicion Georgie's going to turn around in San Jose, and he's going to find his money. There's zero pressure to succeed in San Jose, so this will be a big change. I think he plays well to start and then becomes an .895 goalie come February and beyond. Valid point. Let's see. We go up. Aha. I believe this will be Madam Battleaxe. Let's see. Right here, we have scary part. Is Locked On Avalanche was just talking about this type of trade. This is proof positive they really do listen to the show. If they do, I love you all very much. Respond to my text. Lisa says, I'm going to need a minute to process this. You know, I've been doing that all afternoon. I've had my kids here, been running around. I submitted a little clip for the NHL show, Locked On NHL, with my general reaction. And my kids are like, Dad, what is going on? And I brought down my jersey and I sat them down and explained how trades work. It's a great teaching moment. Thank you, McFarland. Adam, Blackwood and Wedgwood on the same roster. It's a lot of wood in net. That's right. It's a good hearty net. Craig, congrats to Carl on your first solo show. Oh, thank you, Craig. You are too kind. And after this week, Chris will be back and everything will be fine. I hope you all don't hate me by Friday. Of course, they did this because I ordered an Avalanche Kovalenko hoodie. No. Oh, it hasn't even shown up yet, but oh no. Thank goodness for finally doing something about Georgie. I'm torn, but pleased with the trade. Oh, gosh, I hope you got it through Fanatics because I think they have that trade. If you have a trade within 60 days of your purchase, they can refund you or change the jersey. Oh, that's terrible. Kyle, the better Kyle, hit the nail on the head. What will happen while Chris is gone? Oh, yeah, he's left. I told him, I was like, you've upset the balance of everything. My word. And electrician Ziggy. Change of plans. Wedgwood, Blackwood, Mileswood, forever shall be known as the Lumberyard. I like this one. Lumberyard. Ooh, a nice rustic feel to it. This is the general consensus. I think everybody's positive. I think everybody's going to miss Covey, especially those that have bought Kovalenko merchandise. But yeah, it's going to be sad to see him go. Can't wait to see what happens with this. But we'll talk about the Penguins game and if this trade has any implications on the roster tonight and what we can look forward to when it comes to the Pittsburgh Penguins right after this break. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the very same page where you place your bets. Just visit fanduel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's fanduel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. The Pittsburgh Penguins. Scrappy little Penguins. Um, I've been doing some work for college. I'm in my last 2 weeks of college and I'm done. I'm graduated. Woohoo. But I've been doing some work on Pittsburgh. I thought it'd be an easy team to cover. I live locally to their minor league team. So I've been looking at this team and seeing what's going on, and the Pittsburgh Penguins are putting things together right now. Like they just came off a win against Toronto, 5-2. They dropped the game on December 6th to the Rangers, 4-2. But then prior to that, on the 3rd, they beat Florida in overtime. November 30th, they beat Calgary 6-2. And on November 29th, like they won a back-to-back. They beat Boston 2-1. Next night, it was Calgary 6-2. Like Pittsburgh's putting things together. Sidney Crosby's hitting milestones. Brian Rust had that overtime winner against Florida. Kachuk had 4 points in that game. And Brian Rust just put it away in overtime. Like this team's starting to believe in themselves, and like you could hear it from like their post game. So this is not going to be that easy little typical Pittsburgh matchup. This Pittsburgh team's trying to put things together. They're sitting at 12-13-4. They're 8-6-2 at home, which is, I mean, a serviceable record. Your Colorado Avalanche just updates you on things. They're going to be rolling into Pittsburgh with a 16-13-0 record. Beautiful, clean. Haven't lost in overtime yet. 9-6 on the road. This has been a beneficial road trip for the Avs. This has been nice. This has been almost I would say, a successful road trip so far. This is what you want to see. The team's starting to gel. And seeing what the Avalanche feel like vibe-wise after this trade, what effect does it have on the locker room is going to be a big question. I can't wait to see like post-game remarks, pre-game remarks. We'll be watching it like a hawk. Because you could tell a lot about how a team feels about one of these moves when they're directly asked. So, and especially Bednar. Bednar was very upfront with the usage trade. I have a feeling that you're going to get some true feelings about Georgie coming up with some of these comments around the game. So, and again, going back to the trade real quick, I know we didn't give him a lot, but Giovanni Smith, he is also coming in with Mackenzie Blackwood. He's a depth guy. This is not going to be a guy that's going to be taking Kovalenko's spot, because Kovalenko had top 6 potential. Giovanni, he's depth. He's good. I'll give him that. He's really, like, he's scrappy. He's good. I like him. But I mean, this year he's only played 6 games and has a registered a point. He's -1 in his 6 games. Like, he's a presence. He's 6'2", 214. He was drafted in 2016 by the Red Wings. I mean, second round. He was a second round pick, so there was potential. And maybe this could be a resurgence. This could be a nice little pickup. I can't wait to see what he looks like with the Avs and where he fits. But I mean, a left-handed shot. I mean, can't beat that. But he's seen 6 games of action this year. Hasn't registered anything. Will he make an appearance in the lineup tonight? I'm not sure. But when he does get out there, I'm going to be watching how he fits with this team and where he could find his role. Excuse me. But I like Giovanni. Just kind of want to see what he could do. I remember seeing his games in Detroit. I don't really remember him making much of a presence in San Jose. I really honestly didn't have reason to search him out. Did not know this move was on the way, but I do remember him popping up in Detroit. So, but back to the Pittsburgh game, the lineups will be interesting. If you had to ask me now, this feels like a Wedgwood game. Can't wait to see everybody's. We didn't get predictions going into this game, and I apologize for not throwing that out on Subtext, but I have a good feel about this game. But as we said yesterday, like, this is one that you want to see the Avs continue building momentum and not feel like they figured everything out and take their foot off the gas. First period is going to be critical against this team. Like, you cannot let them come back. In that overtime game against Florida, the Pittsburgh Penguins allowed Florida to come back with 3 unanswered goals to tie it up, to send it to overtime. So the potential's there for Pittsburgh to take their foot off the gas, but the Avs need to be the one to dictate this momentum from beginning to end. This needs to be a rinse, wash, repeat effort from the New Jersey game, and you're going to find success here. This is like, wash your hands. You're going to be done. You're going to feel good. After this, you have Utah coming up on Thursday. Then you have Predators on Saturday. So it'll be nice to get back to ball and be done with the road trip. But don't set your eyes on Utah and Nashville yet. Don't set your sights on going home. Finish this road trip strong. A statement win against Pittsburgh, continuing this will put you at 17-13-0, looking a lot better. And just let's take a look real quick. The Central Division, Minnesota's tied with Winnipeg. They both have 40 points. Dallas is in third with 34. Colorado's right there, knocking on the door. They have 32 points. So a win here would be beneficial, and then you could really start doubling those points up against Utah and Nashville coming up. So this needs to be a big statement win. Can't wait to see, and we're going to break it down. Make sure, if you haven't yet, join the Subtext. Link, again, is in the show notes below. We'll get everybody's comments after the game. I'll be watching the YouTube comments as well, but join me after the game, and we'll talk about the Pittsburgh effort, how everything went, and thank you so much for joining me today. It's been an honor for all you guys coming out and supporting me, flying solo. Chris, we miss you. If you're watching this, I'm never going to be as good as you. But for today, that's all we have for Locked On Avalanche. So again, thank you very much for joining us. And you could join us again tomorrow on Locked On Avalanche. And until then, Sidney Crosby is not part of the trade. So Chris, don't even think about mentioning it.